Hey everyone, welcome to Cooking Live with Katelyn. So I'm going to make my famous chicken salad today for dinner, and I thought I'd share the recipe with you in a video and show you how I make it. It's a really simple recipe. Most of the ingredients you should have on hand. A few of them you might not and might have to get at the store, but you could easily substitute or leave them out, and the chicken salad would taste just as fine. So I'm going to go through the ingredients really quick. So clearly the first thing you need is chicken. I usually make this marinated chicken and cook it for dinner with some vegetables, and then whatever left over I actually turn into chicken salad. But today I was feeling like chicken salad, so we're just going to make a full batch of it. So I actually have about 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. We're going to slice up some onions into little pieces and use that, and also some celery. So this is going to provide some good crunch in the chicken salad. Now, all chicken salad, or most chicken salads that I'm familiar with, are sort of mayonnaise based. I prefer mayonnaise over Miracle Whip, but you can easily use whatever you want. I also like to toast up some nuts and put them in the salad because I think it provides some really nice nutty flavors and also some more crunch. I like to use slivered almonds. And then we need the ingredients for the marinade. So it's a simple marinade. So the first ingredient would be olive oil. I'm just using Bertolli's extra light olive oil. We need our sort of staple seasonings, salt and pepper. Then we need garlic powder, basil leaves, oregano, parsley flakes. And this is the seasoning that might not be sort of in your normal category of seasonings. It would be lavender. You should be able to find something like this in a grocery store near you. But if you don't have it or you can't find it, you could easily leave this out. It just gives it sort of a different flavor that you don't normally expect to taste in chicken salad. I recommend marinating the chicken at least a half an hour, preferably in the morning you could start it, or even overnight. That way you're going to get the most sort of flavor out of it, and it's going to really tenderize the chicken, and it's going to taste really good to you. Let's get started. First I'm going to take 1/4 cup of olive oil and put it into a clean sort of, I guess it would be like a breakfast bowl, so that we can make our marinade. Now I'm going to use 1/4 teaspoon of most of these ingredients. I will put the specific amounts on the sidebar when I upload this video. So that makes this pretty easy for you. When I make this recipe myself, I don't actually measure the ingredients. I just kind of eyeball it to what I think looks about right. So that was parsley and oregano. Now I'm going to add garlic powder. Now I'm going to add some basil. And then some lavender. Half of 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So then what I'm going to do is take a spoon and mix this up. I'm going to put it in my Ziploc bag, and then I'm going to put my chicken, I'm going to put the chicken in the bag. Sorry, the screen sort of froze up. Now I don't bother trimming the chicken now because I'm going to cook it and cut it into little pieces after it's cooled. And at that point I'm going to cut off all the little extra pieces of fat. The chicken's in my little zippy bag, and my marinade's in there as well. So what I'm going to do is close the bag and kind of move the meat around in the bag so that it gets all coated in the mixture that I've made. So now what I'm going to do is let it sit in the refrigerator for about half an hour. I've got my oven preheated to 370 degrees. We're going to cook the chicken for about an hour. I'm going to pause now and come back sort of when the chicken's done cooking, and then I'm going to let it cool and show you how we proceed with the chicken salad. Hey everyone, so while the chicken is sort of finishing up cooking, I want to sort of chop my onions and toast the almonds so you can have an idea of what is happening with that. So with the almonds, I'm just going to take a non-stick skillet like this. I'm going to turn the oven onto, or the stovetop onto medium. Open the package. I'm sort of covering the bottom of the pan, I don't know, just lightly, kind of like that, with the almonds. So this is something you don't want to leave unattended for too long because they do have the tendency to burn really quickly, so that's why I have it only on medium. And what you're looking basically is for the almonds just to get a little bit of brown color to them, not burnt color, but sort of like a brown toasted color. What I'm going to do is cut the celery pieces kind of like down the center into quarters. And then I'm going to cut them into little tiny pieces. You need about 1/3 of a cup, which is what I have measured into this container here, of celery for the chicken salad. Now, so I'm basically peeling the outside of the onion. I've cut it in half, so I just have one little sliver here, and then I'm going to cut that into little pieces. I'm also going to measure out 1/3 of a cup of onion. Alright, so I'm going to make the mayonnaise dressing now. I'm going to use about a cup of mayonnaise. Now, I also like to add a little bit of liquid to my mayonnaise so that the dressing is a little bit lighter instead of thick. And I'm going to add probably about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of water. So I've added about 1 first, stirring. So I'm going to add some pepper. This is the taste. Basically, I just shook it all over, and I'm going to stir it up and kind of see how the pepper distributes through the dressing. And see if I think that's enough. I think I need a little more. So I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And then that's basically the dressing for the chicken salad. So my nuts are toasting up still. I want to say this takes probably about 5 minutes to do. And you basically just take them until they have some nice color on them, and then you turn them off and let them cool. Now, a trick with the nuts is they taste really good in the salad, but only if you put them on right before you eat it. So if you mix them in with the chicken and the rest of it and sort of let it sit in the fridge, the nuts are going to get really soft and they're going to lose their crunchy texture, and that's part of the reason they're in there. So I like to put mine on right before I eat the sandwich. So this is kind of like a last minute step right before you eat it. So I wouldn't recommend putting them in with the chicken. Hey everyone, so the chicken's finally done. I actually ended up baking it for an hour at 370 degrees. So this is kind of what it looks like when it came out of the oven. It's nice and juicy still, and it looks like it's going to be really tasty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it up into little pieces. So I have let the chicken cool for a few minutes. So it should be easily handleable. So I'm just cutting it into slices, thin slices, and then I'm going to cut it into like little cubes. And I'm removing any pieces that I think have fat on. I cut that. Now I'm going to put it into my bowl. It ends up looking something kind of like that. So you see some nice green color, but it's mostly chicken. So what I'm going to do now is start adding the mayonnaise dressing. I think I'm pretty good to go, so I'm going to just add all of it. So for about 1.5 pounds of chicken with a cup of dressing, I think that's pretty appropriate for the amount of chicken that I've made. So this is what the final product looks like. Just kind of like that. Chicken salad with mayonnaise. And what I would do is at the end, I like to put it on, where are my buns? I like to put my sandwiches on toasted bread, and my most preferred type of bread is sort of like a Kaiser roll or a French roll. So what I would do is toast this, put the chicken salad on it, and then at the end I would put some of my toasted up nuts. So I hope you enjoyed my second Cooking Live with Katelyn session. Any questions, comments, recipes that you'd like to request, I'd be happy to hear some responses from people. So I hope you have a great day and have some fun with cooking.